Good morning. Today is the first quarter moon in Cancer, but we're not going to cry about it. We're going to pull cards about it. So I have this journal that I printed off from Etsy, and it's kind of like a moon tracker. So I wanted to use it to direct questions for the collective today. So the first card we're going to pull is, what challenges am I currently facing and how can I overcome them with courage and focus? So the first quarter moon to me is a little bit about what is my progress along the lines of achieving my goals, because it's when the energy is starting to ramp up. It's not quite a full moon, but you've already planned your new moon, new intentions, and now we're starting to progress track. Okay, so what challenges is the collective currently facing? All right, that's going to be the first card that we pull. And yes, I really did just wake up. Ooh, okay. This is more cards than we can handle at the moment. Good. All right, so that's what challenges are you currently facing. The second card, how can you overcome them? Okay. And then what actions or decisions can you take to stay aligned with your intentions? And that's the intentions you might have possibly set on the new moon. Okay, so the first card, what challenge am I currently facing? Okay, so the card that you got is the Ancestor card. So this is telling me that you might be like the first in your family to be doing something. This is saying that, okay, I'm getting like chain breaker, cord cutter, somebody who steps out of their comfort zone, somebody who's not afraid to challenge the norm. So it's saying that, okay, so the challenges you might be facing with that is that you don't necessarily have a blueprint for how you make your dreams come reality, right? Because you didn't necessarily have anybody to like mock that up for you. There's no like footsteps for you to follow, or even there's pressure for your footsteps to go in a path that is more familiar, that maybe people in your family or in your lineage have taken or done before. So that is your challenge with this card. It's just being the first. It's being brave and like willing to step into the unknown. Okay. You're also being given lots of support in this endeavor as well, though. Okay. I see like guides on the sidelines. They're like, don't worry about it. Okay. So how can I overcome these challenges with courage and focus? And it's kind of what I just said, like you have the Hierophant card. So you're being guided by a higher power, higher source. This is like ancestors, guides. These are people that are monitoring your progress. It's your higher self, the one that helped you kind of plan this path that you're on before you came here. So just trust that even if things feel like messy or bumpy, even if you're like, I don't have access to the blueprint and that's frustrating, trust that there is a source guiding you. So even your mistakes, quote unquote mistakes, are serving a purpose. Even your setbacks are serving a purpose. It's all shaping your perspective to get you to where you need to go. Okay. What actions or decisions can I take to stay aligned with my intentions? Ten of Cups. So here's the Ten of Cups. What I'm getting from this right now is stay committed to honoring and acknowledging your emotions, emotion. It's saying that you will hold awareness for the emotions of others, but the emotions of others, they don't have to negate the emotions that you're feeling. You still need to hold space for them. So you can maintain an awareness because you are very aware, you're very conscious of the emotional status of other people and how your actions affect them. But you still need to hold space for your own emotions, your own perspective. And that's a skill. So that's a skill. So if you consider yourself a very empathic person, a very conscious person, you can kind of see what's going on. Sometimes you feel pressure because you hold so much consciousness, so much awareness, that you need to start moving in a different way. Maybe like shrinking yourself when you feel others being uncomfortable by your presence or whatever. But it's saying like that was just the initial stages. That was just the initial stages of getting here. The more that you grow, the more awareness and consciousness that you expand, it's going to allow you to detach a little bit, which is important. It's not selfish. It's important for you to detach a little bit, like emotionally, from situations and how other people are feeling. So that you can navigate your life in like a healthier way, right? Because if you're completely bombarded and overwhelmed by the emotions of other people, and you also have your own emotions to sort through, you're gonna get stuck. You're gonna get stuck. These waters aren't gonna flow. So it's your responsibility to contain and protect your energy. You can acknowledge what's going on outside of you, but you also have to trust that people are on their own paths. They're learning from their mistakes. Maybe it doesn't seem like it, but trust that just like your higher self is pulling you along a path for you to learn, so is theirs. And you need to let go of that control a little bit. You can't fix people's problems, even if you're like, hey, that's a problem I've been through before. You kind of have to hold a calm space, calm power, right? Let people come to you. You can be a mirror to reflect any insights that you have if they're willing to receive that, but you can't jump into their life and take the driver's wheel for them, because that's not your responsibility. You need to drive your own life, okay? This is a pretty strong message. Let me see if there's anything else that needs to come up. The idea of holding a safe container for your own emotions and your own emotional processing is coming back up. So I don't know what that looks like for you. If you would like to perform some type of ritual to hold these space for your emotions, maybe write a letter, submerge the letter in water, let go. And it could even be like some of your like comfy routines too, like things that like take a bath, take a shower, get in comfy PJs, make some tea. You know what I mean? Find space for you to acknowledge whatever these emotions are. Okay, this one. Intuition. Looking like a Pisces, but we're in a Cancer. We're in a Cancer first quarter moon. So this is just kind of going back to what we said before, is that you do hold that higher knowing, right? You got the Hierophant. You hold that higher knowing. You're being guided by your ancestors. You got the ancestor card. You got the 10 of Cups. That is an emotionally evolved human. This is you, okay? Trust your intuition. You're developing a new relationship with it. You might have not been able to trust it in the past, but you're different now. You've learned lessons, right? You are learning to embrace the unknown, understand the benefits of the unknown, the fact that, you know, okay, so this maybe kind of sound weird, but we are all higher consciousness. We all come from the same source, the same higher consciousness, right? The way that it works, like being on Earth, is that we created the matrix, we created structures, we created illusions of separation. And that's for a reason. I know some people who are on this path to like enlightenment, they kind of demonize separation a little bit. And I think they do that when they feel like their own lives are out of control, and they start to believe that separation is like the cause of all suffering. You hear that message over and over again, actually. But I want to say that is not true, because you chose separation, and there's freedom in separation. And I want to give an example of that, which is that sometimes limitation breeds creativity. So imagine that you had all the resources, all the money in the world, right? When it comes time for you to create an art piece, you might feel a little lost because you're like, well, I could do anything. But when you only have a couple things, this is like Chopped Kitchen, right? They give them just a couple ingredients. They're like, use these ingredients, make something great. And that is what you're doing in this human life, right? You got slapped into here, you have the blinders on, you don't realize that you are every single person around you, right? Because it's giving you the chance and the opportunity to focus on your life and this character that you've embodied and that you're playing, right? And this character might be experiencing hardship. And usually if you're on this path of looking for card readings, you probably have experienced a lot of hardship that pushed you on the spiritual enlightening route. And you might feel like you're missing something, but you're not missing anything. You're not missing anything, because experience is sacred. Every experience, the good and the bad. And I know it sounds crazy because there's a lot of bad stuff that happens in the world, but you are part of this growing system. You're a part of this source consciousness that is experiencing and rediscovering itself. And if you knew everything all the time, you'd be so bored. You'd be so bored. You know what I mean? Like, if you knew everything, if you had everything, like, this is like, it's almost like it's stimulating your brain to be like, well, this is what I have control of. This is what I don't have control of. And you're making these choices to be able to navigate this path, right? To figure out what's important for you, what's important to this character, and it's going to be different. So that's the thing about being on Earth as well, is that this is your opportunity to get very, very specific, get very freaking weird, okay? Because in other dimensions, other timelines, other planets, there is maybe more of a felt oneness, right? But here we're separated, and that's a kind of a cool thing, because you're like, what is this weird character? What is she like? You know what I mean? Like, how much milk does she like in her cereal? You know what I mean? It is your job to learn this character and find a way to make her thrive, right? Because your spirit was sent here to breathe life into this character, okay? And there's certain things you can control and there's certain things you can't control, but Spirit is asking you to find freedom in the character again. Find a way to set your character free. Find a way to get your character to enjoy life again. And you might find that the things that allow you to enjoy life are just silly and simple, okay? And I'm gonna look this up because I got super sidelined. It was necessary, but yeah, we sidelined. So let's look up this intuition card. And thank you so much for being here with me today. Whoever is receiving this message, your heart is wide open and I can feel it, and it's really exciting. I feel the connection. You're like on the edge. You're on the edge of discovering yourself, and it's beautiful. It really is. I can't wait for you to feel your full power. Intuition. Okay, so that's the moon. Illumination. Aha. Okay. So qualities: perceptive, instinctive, discerning, insightful, and deep. And of course, we're getting this on a water moon. So the waxing phase is a clear symbol of shift and a newfound opportunity to create change. And that is exactly what this fundamental dream decoding ritual represents. It is up to you now to tap into your intuition when you decode your dream symbols and drink in illumination of your always surprising night visions. It says your dreams don't make sense because they speak to you in a different language. So they speak to you in a different language, and that is the language of symbols and associations, not the language of waking reality. Symbols like puns and metaphors have the potential to tell you much more than words. They are a way for your dreaming mind to express a great deal to you as succinctly as possible. Symbols are things that you associate with other things. For example, a white dove is a symbol of peace. However, the advantage of symbol is that they can have endless meanings as well as universal or archetypal common associations. They can also have personal associations. For example, if a dog appears in a dream, it is a universal symbol of unconditional love and loyalty, but not for a person who fears dogs. So consider your own personal association first. In times past, our ancestors were very much at ease speaking the language of symbols and looking beneath the surface for deeper meanings. But in modern times, this natural ability has dimmed. Decoding your dream is a potent way to ignite your intuition and move away from living life on a superficial level to something deeper and more meaningful. So take time to enjoy the poetry in your life. Enjoy the things that you don't know, the things that are being slowly revealed to you. Okay, savor those moments. And you also have the patience card. So that's what I also want to say is just slow down, enjoy the experience. You don't need to be in a rush to be awakened, to be enlightened. Enjoy the path as it unfolds, right? Because one day we're not going to be here. We're all going to be back in the void, right? You're going to know everything again. Enjoy this time where you get to have surprise. You know, like when you take a kid like to Disneyland for the first time and you've been before, you know, and you get to experience life through them again. Like, that is what's happening. Your spirit is watching you, a fractal of consciousness, experiencing things again, and it gets to live vicariously through you, just like you live vicariously through your pets when you take them to go socialize, or, you know, your children when they discover things for the first time. Like, you are that as well. You know what I mean? Your experience is sacred. The not knowing is sacred. Okay. I want to pull one more card just because I'm really enjoying this reading. I'm going to give you a bit of an oracle card. Okay. All right. Okay. So, I don't know why this is coming up, but I know this is the fairies card. Watch out for the things that get you fired up. And when in the book, I want to say it's a little bit of a negative connotation, like watch out for the things that get you fired up. But I want to say watch out for the things that get you fired up in like a good way. The things that spark your creativity and your interest, like those are the reasons you are here. I know it's probably said again and again, but it really is, okay? And then expansion of consciousness. Like I said, you are on the edge of realizing your full power and your full potential, and it's going to be so beautiful when you 1919 on the clock, when you do. Okay, it's going to be like your life is new again. All right, experiencing everything through new eyes. All right. Okay. I love you so much. I hope you enjoy your reading. If you would like to support me in my readings, you can buy me a coffee. The link is in my description. I look forward to the next reading we're doing. I think I'm going to do another Zodiac inspired reading, perhaps for the full moon. I'm thinking the reading is going to be, what was your soul's intention when you descended upon the earth? It's kind of like a what is your purpose, okay? And that's going to be for each zodiac sign. And I'm really excited to do that. Okay, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. If there's anything you'd like to get out of these readings, please comment down below. And as always, I just hope you have the most wonderful day, the most wonderful week.